The gains achieved by the Aquino administration in the past 5 years were cited in the recent Arrancada Forum. Also during the forum, candidates in the coming elections presented their platforms before members of the business community. This report.
The Joint Foreign Chambers of Commerce in the Philippines were presented the platform of 4 presidential candidates. Senator Alan Peter Cayetano spoke for Davao City Mayor Rodrigo Duterte, former Finance Secretary Margarito Teves for Vice President Jojo Marbinay, Congressman Federico Quimbo for former Interior Secretary Mar Rojas, Valenzuela City Mayor Rex Gatchalian for Senator Grace Poe. Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago was absent. All 4 agreed it's a must for the incoming administration to sustain spending for infrastructure development, which is a key concern of foreign investors. For 2016, 5% of GDP, or almost 800 billion pesos, has been allocated in the national budget.
Allotting a bigger budget for rural infrastructure like farm-to-market roads, irrigation systems, and post-harvest facilities.
We want to establish long-term relationships with all of you, but not at the cost of onerous transactions that would harm the interests of stakeholders, both in the short and long term. To this end, consultation and openness are essential. In all decisions on the matter of policy, our overriding concern is always the welfare of the Filipino family. We want every family to be free from hunger, free from fear, and free to dream. These are freedoms that require a strong economy, and they beget an even stronger economy.
Economic growth is important, but it's only a necessary and not a sufficient condition for achieving a full and dignified life. A strategy of inclusive and sustainable growth plays a large part in our agenda. This is the second part of our overall economic agenda. The aim of inclusive growth is for all Filipinos to have access to opportunities to participate in the growth process while making sure that benefits are shared.
Senator Alan Peter Cayetano reiterated Duterte's crusade against corruption, crime, and illegal drugs.
As businessmen, you want things to get done. And that's what the Duterte-Cayetano tandem is all about. Fast action, decisive solutions. There are always only 4 concerns that businessmen move forward to politicians, to government, and to policymakers. 1, peace and order. 2, corruption or good governance. 3, consistent and reliable public policy. Regulations that are not whimsical or don't change depending on the mood of government officials, especially the BIR. A level playing field. And number 4, infrastructure needed. This did not come from us. This came from all international and local groups.
A key concern raised by the Philippine Business Group and Foreign Chambers is tax reform, which the next administration should address. Former Finance Secretary Roberto De Ocampo called for better tax administration without imposing new taxes.
Lower the direct income taxation, lower the corporate tax, apply a stricter administrative measure on VAT, and then put into place those other things I mentioned, like the magnets, Subic Clark, in order that you'll have areas of investment in manufacturing and foreign direct investment, which widen and broaden your tax base and therefore allow you to collect more revenue without coming up with more and more tax measures that would make the country non-competitive.
Education Secretary Armin Luistro stressed it's a must for the next government to sustain the implementation of the K-12 program, since senior high school graduates will have great opportunities for employment and address concerns of underemployment.
In the K-12 reform, our high school graduates may be able to access a National Certificate Level 2 from TESDA, and will allow them to professionalize whatever skills and competencies they may have learned in school. The Philippines will need to ensure that our positioning in ASEAN will continue to be competitive. And there is no other area for us to continue and sustain that reform except in education. I believe as we jumpstart our educational reform in the next 2 months, we will start by June this year.
For the People's Television Network, this is Freddie Abando reporting.